I've always made art since I was like teeny tiny. I remember even in like elementary school trying to play sick so that I could stay home and like just make art all day. And it worked a lot. And then I just always took art lessons and just loved art.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Sit Down and Have a Tea for Season 3. This is an art-centered podcast from the Wolfgang and Luke Art Gallery based out of Great Falls, Virginia. Thanks for tuning in and hope you enjoy the chat. Hi, Mary. Okay, can you pronounce, is it Bockenek or is it just Bockenek?
If people say it both ways. I usually say Bockenek, like I don't overly pronounce.
Okay.
And Nick.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, how do I get that sound in there? So Bockenek. Okay, that's awesome. You are based in Great Falls?
That's right.
Did you move here recently or
I've
you've been
lived
here for a while?
For almost 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, we started off by chatting beforehand about Halloween. So I feel like Halloween's already done because we did the Spooktacular here in the Great Falls Center. I feel like we're done, but we're not. It's tomorrow, so it's pretty funny. And I was thinking, oh, okay, I'll be handing out in my neighborhood, so that's what I have to look forward to. And you've got 2 little ones, so
yeah.
What are the Halloween plans?
Well, in 2 hours, I'm doing one preschool Halloween party.
Oh, wow.
Tomorrow, I'm doing the other one's Halloween party.
At the school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So this is a good segue, actually, because then so you're a teacher. Are you doing it part-time now?
So I don't teach anymore.
You don't teach anymore?
No. So I've been home with the 3. I stopped when the first one was born.
Yeah. That's cool. And so how old are they?
So Hadley is about to be 7.
Wow.
Grant just turned 5 and Chase is 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. So, right. You're an art teacher. What's your work and education background and tell us about your love for art.
I've always made art since I was like teeny tiny. I remember even in like elementary school trying to play sick so that I could stay home and like just make art all day. And it worked a lot. So, and then I just always took art lessons and just loved art. So when I went to college, I thought, a graphic designer would be like a practical job. But I'm not very good with computers. So of like a week before graduation, I thought maybe I'll be an art teacher instead. And then that's what I did.
Nice. So, what's your favorite medium to work in?
I really like watercolor. I mean, I've dabbled in like photography and charcoal and print, and I really like printmaking too.
Yeah.
But mostly I like watercolor.
Well, you can maybe show you. I think you have a couple pieces there. Just you can show kind of your style and how did you arrive at this style?
So I used to be very meticulous and I wanted things to just be really precise, and I'd spend hours and hours on one piece. And that didn't feel as like satisfying. It felt kind of more like work. And then once I had kids, there was just no time for art like that. So I kept trying to be looser and more free and paint faster. And then I just kept practicing, and that's kind of how I arrived at this style. So now I do mostly floral watercolors. So like here would be kind of one. So I tend to, when I'm out, like we go to gardens a lot. So I just do either a quick sketch or I bring it all with me and I do it there while my kids are playing or while they're painting too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we like pack it all. And then here's like another one. Sometimes like if I buy flowers or get flowers, I always paint those. And then of course I had to paint pumpkins because, it is the season.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, very nice.
And then I also developed this little style of like little abstract pieces where I do like a continuous line.
Oh,
like
yeah.
A continuous line drawing.
Yeah.
So this one I made like when I was in Key West, the key lime pie.
Yeah, I was going to say like
color.
I'm hungry.
Yeah. And then like here's one like of a boat when I was in Florida.
Oh, I really like that.
Thanks. So I have a whole series of them, lots of.
And then they're floated in resin, or is that a special frame?
It's just a little float frame.
Oh, nice.
Typically.
I keep on learning about all these presentation, things. I'm fascinated by the fact that you take your kids plein air painting. Yeah. And I love your Instagram is really fun. Well, your website is Mary Bockenek art.com. So MaryBockenekart.com.
That's right.
And then your Instagram handle is Mary Bockenek. I took German lessons, so I can't help but say but Bockenek, to get that. I have to hear everything. MaryBockenek. And you can see all of her beautiful work there. And then you also show, some of your kids' work there and working with them. So was it hard with the first one to start them? And then the other ones just kind of followed suit? I have one child, so sometimes it's, I just think, if there were a group of them, it's kind of easier as a herd to kind of, say, we're all going to do this.
It's both. So it's funny because, when you have kids, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so I remember she was probably like 4 months old, and I thought, well, now's a good time to start acrylic painting. And so she was just like covered. But who would give a 4-month-old like acrylic?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're not alone.
Even like that. We have a joint piece that we made together. And for her to be still, I did it while she was sleeping. I like pressed her hands.
Yeah.
She was sleeping, so I coated her car seat with like plastic.
That's awesome.
Funny. So then I realized, okay, we just need to wait just a little bit.
But it's so exciting with kids.
Into it. Yeah. Like I was just really ready for her to do things. So I had to kind of tone down my expectations of the materials that she was ready for. But then, always with markers. And then I was like, watercolor paints, they're washable. That's great. So it was funny, like during COVID, like if I had a silver lining, one was that all the artists went online all the time. So they couldn't do in-person lessons or classes. So they would do all these online classes. And it just so worked out like in the UK, their nighttime was like my kids' nap times, or like people were doing all this virtual stuff. So I remember Hadley was like 2, and she'd be doing these classes with like abstract art classes with me, and I'd show like her piece and my piece. And yeah, so we just did it so much that then it was never like a big deal. And then the second little guy, he just did it too. And the third little guy is more of a wild one with the art supplies, but not bad. Now he's, they just all kind of do it.
Now you're like a painter family. That's awesome. I think I had like a pad of paper, and I gave my infant like a pen or a marker, and she held it. And then I kind of just moved the paper around, and because she was just learning just to kind of hold it and then move stuff. And I thought, well, this is okay, and then I gave her the paintbrush, and, she moved it around on the canvas, and I thought, oh, that's nice. And then it's funny when you're talking about it's smart to do it when they're sleeping with the handprint, because I said, okay, let's do a handprint footprint work. And she doesn't like the texture.
Oh, okay.
And so she got really upset at the whole process. But once it was done and hanging up in the house, everybody who came in, she would, before she could talk, she would, in her babble, like be explaining blah, 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 hand and foot and stuff like that. So I thought, okay, it wasn't all that traumatic an experience for her, but
that's cute.
Yeah, no, it's, I think I got really excited with the art, and I still am. Love working with her. And it's nice to see them now. She's almost 6 and really kind of taking it on her own now. And like, I'd love to just spend all day doing crafts with her on the weekends or something like that. Once she kind of, she has so much energy. So I don't know what age they start to kind of settle down into it. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel really lucky. So my daughter still really likes art, but my middle son is really into art. So he wakes up every morning. I actually have them right here. He wakes up in the morning and comes downstairs, and he makes things out of recycled materials.
Wow.
So he has a fleet of
tanks and stuff.
I don't know why tanks, but I have like 8 of them sitting right in front of me. And so we go through tape like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
But,
yeah,
he makes all these little tanks, and then he gets mad at me when I don't have enough recycled materials for him.
That's awesome. Well, I know where
Yeah.
to send my recycled material now.
Yeah. So he's really funny, and he'll like come home and be like, "Oh, can we do clay?" And absolutely, this is great. So,
Wow. That's a
yeah.
dream. That's a
Yeah.
dream.
Yes.
That's nice.
It's fun that we have that.
Was there a point of inspiration for you? Like, was there a family member or what got you into art and kind of the direction you took?
So a few things. I think I just always liked it and was drawn to it in school. And then I think my mom was really great because she saw that there was an interest. So she tried to always involve me. So she did a lot of like stuff with our PTA where there needed to be art or like, props. And she had like an artist from a college come over, and she would always let me watch or try to help. So I always saw people making lots of cool stuff. I always remember my grandfather, his level of interest. He always acted so interested in the stuff that I was doing. Whenever I would visit him, I would pack it all up into this portfolio. And it was the very first thing I had to do when I got to his house was to like show him all of my artwork.
Oh,
So yeah, I think like just kind of being exposed to a lot of stuff and then having people who are really interested
yeah.
in looking at it all was very motivating.
And what about any artists in time that, you particularly like their work?
So I really like Matisse, which I feel like he's really popular, but I think it's so cool that he painted one way and then he got really sick. And whereas many people might have felt like, oh, I guess that's it. He developed the cutouts, which I think are more interesting than his paintings. So I really think he's inspiring in that, there's so many different avenues you can take with your art.
Yeah, it doesn't have to stop. And he's my favorite. I'm very influenced by him as well. Just his compositions are just, in his paintings, they really appeal to me, But then with the cutouts and the whole concept, and the simplification of it was really neat, and how iconic just certain shapes are, So yeah, that we can all dream to just keep on producing until the last day of our lives, really. So no matter what physical shape we're in. So yeah. What do you love the most about making your art? Like what, in your creative process, is there something, or I think what I like having completed something, for example, and you go, I did it, but the middle part where you're trying to get it or you're not there yet, you're like, when's it going to happen? But yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just, I feel like all of us, everyone always has so many things on their mind or so many things they could be doing or should be doing. And I feel like when I'm making art, I don't think about those other things. Like I'm not even always thinking that much about the art I'm making. It's just kind of this moment of like, just engaged in what I'm doing and not even really thinking about anything else. So it's kind of that like escape from,
that's nice.
I don't know, the to-do list or everything. But you're right. It is really nice of all hobbies you could have to have something at the end where you're like, this.
Yeah, something that you say, this feels good to me, because there's self-identification and kind of, I don't know, there's something that boosts you as a person that you say, I did it. So you were talking about you both paint in plein air, but then you also do a sketch. Do you ever paint from pictures?
Sometimes if I found a picture that was really inspiring, I'll paint a photo. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever do commissions?
I do, but it's so funny. I get really excited because I'm so flattered that someone wants me to do it. And then I always think, gosh, I shouldn't do this because then it's free. And then you're worried that are they going to like it or.
Yeah. It comes into like the whole, like what you were just saying about the creative process that you like is that you can empty out all concerns and just create. But when you're having to create for somebody who's, you're kind of like, you can't help but be self-conscious about it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's nice at the end when, if you've been able to make something that they're really happy with, but it doesn't feel quite the same.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That's a great way of putting it. So my fun question, if you could have a dinner party with any artist, multiple or just single, across any medium, really, what would it, it could be music. Who would it be?
So I had thought about saying Henry Matisse on that one, but I don't know that I'd really need to have dinner with him.
What would make like a interesting dinner conversation, or somebody or who you'd...
I mean, I don't know that I'd really like him, but I think maybe Picasso, because I feel like he just lived at this really interesting time and he knew so many interesting people. Almost to like be a guest at an Ernest Hemingway dinner party would perhaps be my dream. I think that's actually, I named my daughter Hadley because I heard the name first. It was his first wife.
Oh.
And I just think that their life was so adventurous.
Yes.
I mean, a little crazy, of course.
Yeah.
But
bohemian and all that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just like full of artsy things like writing and music and art.
So
and travel.
Did you ever see the movie Once? It's the Irish movie set in Dublin.
I think so.
I watched that movie and I just want to drop everything and just become an artist. So it's musicians, but they're just it's so much in them and they're just making it. And they show this one scene where they go to, I don't know if it's a pub or some lounge area, or maybe it's somebody's house where all these kind of regular person kind of musicians come together and they're just playing music. I want to say a concert, but it's not. It's just, imagine like a house party kind of thing. And everybody's just, they have their opportunity to sing or say poetry or something and just express themselves. And you just think, oh, I'd love to be in that environment and just, it would be so interesting, and see what comes up of it, like, could I do that? I don't know. Would something bubble up but anyway, it was just such a fascinating scene that, anyway, kid-friendly movie, I think. So awesome. if you want to check it out. So
I will look at that.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, you'll be showing at the Blue Chicken Bakery.
Oh, cool.
Here in Great Falls. So yeah, we just finished up at the Old Brogue and you had some success there. So that's exciting. Yeah. So we'll be looking over to the Blue Chicken. So that's over on Colvin Run. So I'm looking forward to that exhibition, changing over on Friday and seeing what comes of that. So
yeah. I love how bright of a space it is.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely happy. And I think he's opening up some more areas, to show more art and stuff like that. Anyway, I really appreciate, artists like you, like coming together and, showing your stuff. So, and having.
Well, thanks for bringing us together to show our stuff.
Well, so what did you think of the studio tour?
I thought it was great. We didn't go to too many places.
Yeah. But
I love it. I think it's so nice to see where people make their art. We always stop at Perry Naz's, of course.
Yes. She's like the epic center, like it's such a beautiful venue, and there's so much going on and stuff like that. And she's a very gracious person. So
yeah.
Awesome. This has been nice. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Did you want to cover anything else? I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, I think that was great.
Yeah, awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll look forward to seeing you around and following and seeing, all your beautiful creations. So, now, where can people buy? Can they buy online off your website?
So that's currently an Etsy shop. One of my short-term goals is to develop a much better website. I don't have a lot on there right now, but hopefully in the next few weeks, it's a goal to really get things up there.
It's a whole other thing.
It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
It's so funny because when you say like, oh, I want to really get serious about all this art stuff. And then you just think that means I'm going to really, put my time into making art that I really like. But it's so much more than that. It's
marketing and putting a platform out there and you can have it all there, but then how are people going to find you or, all that. So
you can spend a lot of time on the other things.
Yeah. That's what, now at the gallery, I just think like, I think I can squeak out some painting once in a while. And thankfully I do have my daughter that we can be creative, Thank you for listening to this episode.